Bro, we gotta talk.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 WTF moments from The Boys.
That was diabolical!
For this list, we're looking at moments in this subversive superhero show that were so shocking or bizarre that it had us saying, well, you know. We'll be sticking with the core series for this one, as the Diabolical animated anthology series already has a list of its own. If you haven't seen the first 2 seasons of The Boys, there will be super spoilers. Which moment had you picking your jaw up off the floor? Tell us in the comments. Number 20, Kimiko's death. The great thing about The Boys is that it always manages to keep us on our toes, especially when it comes to revealing power sets. One character who's always been more or less a mystery is Kimiko, but we learned of a crucial aspect of her skill set in this scene. After Frenchie mercifully releases Kimiko, at that point nameless, in order to save her life, he's confronted by Black Noir in an alleyway. Frenchie virtually defenseless against the soup, Kimiko returns the favor by intervening. The fight doesn't last too long, however, as Noir completely eviscerates Kimiko. We were already shocked thinking we'd lose a character we hardly knew, but we're shocked even further when she began to self-heal.
You are a miracle.
Number 19. The Deep rescues a dolphin. Like his fellow so-called superheroes, the Deep causes more problems than he solves. Even when doing what he considers a noble deed, this aquatic soup manages to botch things up. Breaking a dolphin out of ocean land, the Deep promises to show the sea creature some blowhole action.
Okay. Yeah, let's just focus on the escape first and, we can talk about that some other time.
Believe it or not, seeing a human flirt with a dolphin isn't even the craziest part of this scene. When the gateway van is cut off by the cops, the Deep slams on the brakes. He unfortunately didn't do the best job at securing the dolphin, as it sent flying through the windshield and onto the street, where it's run over by a truck. The inclusion of Wannabe by the Spice Girls only adds to the madness. Number 18. Lamplighter's tastes. We've gotten plenty of satirical takes on the superhero genre, but few that are as willing to address the more adult implications of soups inhabiting the real world as The Boys. Actually, adult is the perfect word to use when describing this scene, as Lamplighter's unabashed sexual proclivities make for some hilariously awkward humor.
Different strokes, man.
Please don't say that in this context.
When Huey is assigned to keep an eye on Lamplighter, he's unwittingly forced to keep an eye on Lamplighter's viewing material as well, namely his collection of the 7-themed adult film parodies. We are not the least bit surprised that the world has taken to the 7-so, but watching them watching it definitely makes us cringe, though maybe not as much as Huey. Number 17. Ramming the whale. Honestly, the Deep's lack of foresight when it comes to the well-being of aquatic creatures will never not be funny. And gross, apparently. After a run-in with a police helicopter, the boys find themselves fleeing in a speedboat from a school of angry sharks. Naturally, the Deep isn't far behind, and surfaces gloriously riding a whale. He parks the massive mammal along the shoreline, thinking it'll prevent the boys from beaching. He clearly underestimates the tenacity of Billy Butcher, however, who instead accelerates and sends the vessel straight through. Just when you think the boys can't get any gnarlier, they end up on the inside of a punctured whale. Number 16. A-Train kills Popclaw. Of all the deeply troubled soups on the show, and there are a lot, few get done quite as dirty as Popclaw. She wants to take public her relationship with A-Train, but he remains reticent to get Vought's permission, more worried about his image.
Look, our time is gonna come, I promise. But I gotta get my leverage back first.
As toxic as their relationship was, even we didn't think it would end like this. After the boys blackmail Popclaw into revealing secrets of Compound V, A-Train tricks her into revealing their identities. Thinking they can finally be out in the open once she does, Popclaw is horrified to see A-Train swiftly inject her with an overdose of heroin.
I love you.
I love you too.
This is the ultimate betrayal by the person she loves most, and it hurts every time we watch it. Number 15, The Deep's Hookup. Following Starlight's televised confession, it isn't long until everyone learns of the Deep's sexual indiscretions. Starlight wasn't the first either, requiring the Deep to take a sabbatical from the Seven. Bringing a woman back to his Ohio apartment, the Deep is given an idea of how horrible he made Starlight feel.
You first.
Oh, most girls like this suit.
The Deep's hookup is less interested in his sex organs and more eager to see his respiratory organs. Although he's insecure about taking his shirt off, the Deep complies and reveals his gills.
Look at those gills. Oh my god.
Giggling, the woman treats him like a circus freak. But that doesn't mean she's not still interested. On the contrary, she enjoys herself a little too much, leaving us feeling deeply disturbed. Number 14, Black Noir's weakness. Almost every soup has a weakness, be it external or internal. But even we never imagined one would be as hilariously mundane as this. After escaping from her holding cell, Starlight too finds herself confronted by Black Noir. At first, it seems like the Master Ninja is going to make quick work of her, throwing her around the conference room. Yet she's saved at the last minute by Queen Maeve. Though we would have loved to have seen an all-out fight between these members of the Seven, Maeve ends things immediately by popping an Almond Joy into Noir's mouth. Yeah, an Almond Joy.
Was that an Almond Joy?
He has a tree nut allergy.
This sends Noir into anaphylactic shock, as something so minute proves to be such an intimidating character's kryptonite. Number 13, Lamplighter's death. Sudden deaths are not scarce on The Boys, and yet the show still manages to get us every time.
I'm either still in the system or about to be swarmed by guards with AKs. Wait, what? And boom, bitches! All right, let's go.
Season 2 introduced a lot of memorable characters, but perhaps none so much as former member of the Seven, Lamplighter. Played to perfection by Shawn Ashmore, Lamplighter unfortunately has a short lifespan on the show, as he meets his end by his own lamp, so to speak.
They moved my statue? What? I wanted to do it in front of my statue. Do what?
On a mission with Huey to rescue Starlight from Vought headquarters, Lamplighter reveals he has an alternate motive all his own. After being disappointed they removed his statue, Lamplighter sets himself ablaze, much to both our and Huey's shock.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
This inadvertently sets Starlight free, as Lamplighter then posthumously gives Huey another hand. Literally. Number 12, Popclaw kills her landlord. If you're gonna get kinky with a soup, you might want to consider bringing protection, as in the kind that could save your life.
There is a world where we could come to an understanding.
Heartbroken over A-Train and supercharged on Compound V, Popclaw seduces her landlord to get out of paying rent. The fantasy gets too real, however, as Popclaw loses control. She goes from suffocating the man to accidentally cracking his head wide open. Popclaw is so caught up in the heat of the moment that it takes a second for her to even notice what she's done. This has got to be the most gruesome endorsement for safe sex we've ever seen. Number 11, Translucent's death. How do you restrain an invisible man who's virtually invincible? Well, shoving some C4 up his colon will likely keep him in check.
Now, you stick a little finger up there and try and fish it out. Bang. I trigger this. Also bang.
When Butcher and Frenchie step out, Translucent seizes his opportunity to escape with only the timid Huey standing in his way. Huey isn't sure if he's ready to make the leap from kidnapping to murder, which Translucent uses to his advantage. While he nearly talks him into stepping aside, Huey decides that he's done keeping his hands clean and presses the detonator. Translucent may be invisible, but his insides are on full display as they splash onto Huey. Since he's one of the more stable characters on the show, seeing him get blood on his hands was shocking in more ways than one. Number 10. Dawn of the Seven.
There's no way we can restore the grid if we don't get that flash drive to the tower.
But how are you gonna get through all of them?
Don't worry. Girls get it done.
And cut a rehearsal, no one move, no one move, no one move.
Though the first 2 seasons of The Boys only came out in a pair of back-to-back years, the show has managed to stay shrewdly relevant with the climate of real-life superhero movies. We always knew we'd never get to see the entirety of Dawn of the Seven, the title being a play on a very particular DC film, but the snippets we did get in season 2 are flabbergastingly hilarious.
So who are you, Maeve?
I'm a lot like you. I'm gay. We have to keep moving.
Vought's cinematic attempts to spin Maeve off as an inspirational lesbian, even though that's not entirely accurate, hilariously criticizes some of the corporate decisions that go into these movies as she's still denied an on-screen kiss. Then, A-Train's contrived retirement from the Seven exemplifies the puppetry that's happening behind the scenes.
I know this is Dawn of the Seven. The sunset on A-Train. It's been a good run.
Number 9. Mommy Issues.
I see you. I know you're watching me. You've been out there quite a lot lately. Always watching. So why don't you just come on inside?
Homelander commands every room he enters, but Madeline Stillwell is the one person who can make him weak in the knees. When Homelander isn't trying to win his boss's approval, he's watching her pump breast milk through a wall. Although their relationship isn't exactly platonic, Stillwell treats her star superhero like a devious little boy who needs to be kept in line. She thus serves as both a lover and a maternal figure for Homelander, which is all kinds of gross.
You're my good boy.
Homelander's Oedipus complex reaches the pinnacle of creepy even after she's dead, when he uses Doppelganger to restore his fantasies.
Change back! Change back! I'm sorry! I can only hold a shape for so long before it really hurts!
Number 8. Laser Baby. We all know where babies come from, but Butcher and Milk are both shocked to learn where super babies come from while infiltrating a Vought facility.
Oh my God. Jesus.
When the guards catch them trespassing, Butcher decides that they need to upgrade from a puny handgun to a baby blaster. This baby is packing more than a dirty diaper, as Butcher uses the newborn's laser vision to blow the guards away.
Watch your life, son.
The image of a baby discharging lethal beams of light from his eyes is both hilarious and alarming. What's especially jarring is just how quickly the situation escalates, with one guard losing his head entirely. Man, and we thought Jack Jack from The Incredibles was a destructive little tyke.
Now you keep your nose clean, sunshine, or I'll come back and stomp you.
Number 7. Superhero Bar. The first episode made sure to really set the tone for what the rest of the show had in store for us. Our greatest peek behind the curtain comes when Billy Butcher recruits Huey to the cause. With Huey full of indignation towards Soups and A-Train in particular, for reasons we'll get to very shortly, Butcher takes him to an underground soup bar to retrieve some damning footage of A-Train in an effort to incentivize him. But our big takeaway from the scene is seeing the sexual shenanigans the various Soups partake in when not under media scrutiny.
Capes for Christ guy? Preaches all that pray the gay away shit.
Now he's the meat and the mandage.
From some levitating sex to a tiny soup, exploring, the writers show exactly how soups might pervert their powers. Number 6, talking gills. Just when you think the boys can't get any weirder, a couple of scenes like these come along.
You imagine women will laugh at us, so you humiliate them first.
No, that's not true.
You can't accept your own body, so you violate theirs.
The Deep is definitely reeling following his forced sabbatical from the Seven, and his emotions find a very bizarre outlet when he gets high on psychedelics. Though his conscious mind doesn't want to hear it, his gills, voiced by Patton Oswalt, remind him of his bodily insecurities and how it leads him to mistreat women.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm the ugly one.
No.
Yes. On the inside.
It's honestly profound stuff, and a lesson the Deep would be wise to let sink in. No pun intended. But even he finds himself put off by the experience. Again, just when things can't get any weirder, he finds some catharsis as the two break out into a duet of You Are So Beautiful.
You are so beautiful to me.
Number 5, Robin's death. If The Boys demonstrates anything, it's that freak accidents would be a lot more common in a world of superpowered people. Shortly after being introduced to Huey and Robin, the latter is suddenly run over by speedster A-Train. Although it happens in the blink of an eye, the action is slowed down for us to see Robin's awful fate.
Don't you ever besmirch Billy.
This is only a minor inconvenience for A-Train, who just keeps running as if he stepped in mud. From this moment on, it becomes clear that The Boys is not going to be your dad's superhero show.
Robin!
Number 4, Homelander kills Madeline. Believing Homelander is responsible for his wife's death, Billy Butcher dedicates his life to revenge. It appears Butcher may finally get even when he takes Stillwell hostage and threatens to blow her up in front of Homelander. As it turns out, though, Homelander is tired of Stillwell's deception and burns 2 holes through her head. Of course, this doesn't stop Butcher from hitting the switch anyway.
What was that plan again?
Oh, well.
We go from one WTF moment to another as Butcher survives the blast. Homelander has taken him to a suburban neighborhood where Butcher learns that his wife is still alive. Not only that, but her affair with Homelander years ago resulted in a pregnancy. Vought's been hiding Becca and her superpowered son from Homelander. But now, Daddy's home.
I'm your father. And we are a family.
Number 3, Stormfront's identity revealed. Viewers went on quite the roller coaster with incoming character Stormfront in Season 2, going from admiring her straightforward attitude to cringing at her freaky fling with Homelander to hating her for being a literal Nazi.
Your grandmother.
My daughter.
In a shocking reveal, Stormfront reveals to Homelander that she's a whopping 101 years old, with super longevity being another of her abilities. Not only that, but she was the wife of Vought founder and creator of Compound V, Frederick Vought. She was the first patient to successfully absorb the compound.
He made me. And his genius made you.
As if this information isn't shocking enough, her and Frederick's past ideologies come to the surface as Stormfront chillingly recruits Homelander into the worst war imaginable.
You are everything that we dreamed of. So I love you with all of my heart.
Number 2, Congress loses their heads. There are some terrifying soups operating in the world of The Boys, but one that can make someone's head explode is especially so.
Our head's gonna explode! Frenchie, who do you know who can do that? No one! Our head's gonna explode!
Director Rayner's sudden demise definitely had us shaken, but even we couldn't have been prepared for what came later on. After Butcher's able to threaten former Vought scientist Jonah Vogelbaum into testifying against them before Congress, it looks like the boys are finally gonna get a win. But before Vogelbaum can, his head and those of several others start popping like balloons. Even in the moment, we didn't know what to make of it. But the reveal in the season finale that it was the work of Secret Soup, Congresswoman Newman, had us dying for season 3.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Homelander lets the plane crash. When the mayor of Baltimore tries to blackmail Stillwell, Homelander blows up his plane, giving us our first glimpse of just how corrupt America's golden boy is. Although the mayor's son and other innocents are on board, they're collateral damage in Homelander's eyes.
Oh my God.
Homelander shows even less regard for human life when another plane is hijacked. Maeve and Homelander stop the terrorists, but the pilot is killed and the plane is left beyond repair.
We're done here.
Please.
Everything's fine, guys. Everything's fine. You're okay.
Wait, you're leaving us?
No. I'm just seeing something down the back.
Although Maeve lists off several ways they could potentially save at least a few passengers, Homelander nonchalantly writes off the mission as a lost cause. He won't even fly the children to safety and threatens those who beg for his help. While Maeve grieves, Homelander merely acts like an anthill got squashed.
Don't die with them.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.